Rebecca and a really warm welcome back to my channel, PumpkinBecki. Today we're playing with my new plant obsession, succulents. Succulents and cacti need a lot of daylight, a lot of really good bright daylight. Not necessarily direct sunlight, but bright sunlight. We would struggle to give that to them here in the UK anyway, and we are now about to go into winter. The clocks are about to go back, so it's going to get darker for longer. What I've done is invest in some grow lights, and these are T5 and they have a Kelvin rating of 6,400. These are Sunblaster. They are 2 foot long and they come in a pack that has everything you need. It has the light bulb itself. It has a reflector panel that goes the full length of the bulb. It has a power cable. It also has another cable, which means you can daisy chain more than one light together, which is great. And you'll see why when we get to installing them. And it also has all the fixings that you might need as well. I'm going to be installing these on some plastic shelves that we're not using up in our attic anymore. I thought they'd be absolutely ideal, and actually the size is perfect for these lights. They're exactly the right width. And I'm going to be putting things like my Echeveria, Crassula, Kalanchoe, quite a selection. My Sempervivums are staying outside. They're fine. They're hardy here in the UK, I think down to zone 4, and really tough. Don't need to worry about them. But these softer ones, the more tender ones, they need to be inside, definitely. Our first frosts are just around the corner and they would not survive that. Right, let's get some installing done. So here's our setup. It's in the spare bedroom, and there is my little set of shelves there. So I've got 4 shelves, but I've only got enough lights and plants to do the top 2 shelves, and that'll be absolutely perfect. So here's the underside of the shelf that we've taken off. Cunningly, it's got these ribs to support it, and they are actually completely perfect for suspending our lights from. We're going to make some little hooks from strong wire and then use the clips that come with the light fittings to just hang them from, and that means that we can change the height if we need to, but I think probably more likely I will just pop things underneath pots that look like they need to be closer to the lights. So I'm going to drill through the 2 ribs here and the 2 ribs here. So this is how the underside of the shelf is going to look with the 2 lights mounted side by side, and you can see that there should be a fairly even throw of light across the full width of the shelf. I'm going to make my hooks from these handy wire coat hangers. I'm going to use about that much, about 6 inches per hook, which should bring us down more than plenty, plus I've got to turn a couple of hooks in it, so that'll just raise the level a little bit. cut them all the same length. There we go, 8 pieces, and they are very nearly the same length, not far off. That'll do me. So the next job is to turn these into an S hook. So I'm going to put the wire into the pliers so that it sits flush with this edge and with a strong grip. Bend the wire to 90 degrees. And do the same, and do the same again, so you end up with a hook like that. Then, keeping that hook facing that way, I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to bend it the opposite way. Once. And again. Okay. So we need 8 of those. Okay, so here's a shot of the underside of the shelving unit. And the hooks are just going to fit in like that. Okay, so here's the shelf with the hooks installed and the first light with its reflector bar as well. And then I'm going to put the one in front of it. Fantastic. Now to connect the power. Okay, so at the end of the light fittings there are connection points where you can daisy chain more than one light fitting together. And the lights have a label on them that says output, and you connect the output on one to the input on the other. Then at the other end we're going to run the power cable. It has a nice handy toggle switch on it, which I can leave accessible. And you plug the power into the input on the first light. And switch it on and switch it on. Ooh. Fantastic. That's really exciting. Look at that. No light. Grow lights. So I'm just going to repeat the same thing for the lower shelf. Right, now we're all set up. I'm going to give you a little tour of the plants that I've got. It's very difficult to be able to give you a definitive name for most of these because most of them came to me unlabelled, and that seems to be the state of affairs with garden centres. They seem to be reluctant to give you any information as to what you're buying. Like with this little baby, you can see it just says succulent mix. Fantastic. This beauty, which is blue-green with mauve tips, I believe to be Graptiferia opalina. Really luscious. She's gorgeous. this beautiful one that looks like a water lily could well be Graptoveria bashful. At the moment we've only got pink tips to the leaves, but I think once we're under the grow lights, if we start to see a bit more pink coming down the lengths of these, then we'll know for sure that it is bashful. If not, I'll have to guess again. This is a little sedum, or sometimes called jelly beans. Have to be a bit careful when you're handling these because they will just throw their leaves all over the place. That's great for propagation because you can just lay them on top of soil once they're calloused over. But it can leave the plant looking a little bit denuded. You'll notice this one is quite red. That's a red and forest green. This one here is a more blue-green with soft pink. And again, I expect that the colour will get stronger once they're under these grow lights for a length of time. I've got two of these little sweeties. And one of these, which is actually starting to look a little bit stretched maybe. It definitely needs some water. Whether that will help, I don't know. The leaves seem quite firm. Maybe that's just the way it grows. And the last plant on this tray is called a Haworthia. It has these incredible translucent tips to the fat leaves, and sometimes referred to as the window plant. And it's really amazing. It uses this clear panel to adjust the amount of daylight it's getting. I've got on a little spate of rescuing some of these Echeveria, and I'm pretty certain that it is Pearl von Nurburg. Pretty certain. So I bought that one, which was nice and low, but then I bought 4 others which got really atoliated, which means stretched out. They weren't getting enough daylight. I went and took all the crowns off, and I'll show you them in another tray. And already, this is only, it's probably less than a couple of weeks, and I've already got baby plants coming. So what I did was I took the crowns off, but then I also took leaves off as well. And some of these are rooting. But that's not going to work on that shelf. These cuttings are Pachyphytum oviferum, often called moonstones or sugared almond. I actually bought them as cuttings, but they weren't just leaves, they're actually sprouted leaves, so that's really exciting. I'm already a really big step along the way with these growing. And you can see what they do. You lay the leaf on the soil, roots go down, and then up comes a little plantlet. So here are the crowns of the etoliated Pearl von Nurburg that I think she is, and they are just in some compost there, so there's only sort of a centimetre, I suppose, just below the soil, just enough to keep them upright. And they have already started to sprout some roots, which is fantastic. That means I can start watering, which is good because they're starting to look a little bit puckered. And I've got a couple of topsy-turvy there, which again were from that sort of goldfish bowl arrangement. I managed to actually make 2 plants out of that. There's some more sedum there. This little cutting here is the top of what I think is a Crassula mesembryanthemoides, which I got again from the same DIY store in a tall jar. It did really well, but got pretty etoliated. Although, having done some more reading, that is kind of its nature. I love its little hairy leaves, it's beautiful. I've got some other head cuttings there from other things. So there you are. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. I hope to do a follow-up on my experiences with the Sunblaster grow light system and how my succulents are doing. I'm looking forward to using them in projects as well. I'm just trying to build up my stock a bit so that I've got lots to play with. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to me here on YouTube. And until next time, bye!